Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today's third video. So we're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's third video, day 10 is going to take us around the 20th of June. And we're going to be able to extend out beyond that. We extended GFS and ECM ensembles. They run around a couple of weeks. So have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video. For the next 4 weeks, I shall get on with that for you. Very shortly, just to say that the first video release today was our nice little 7 a.m. upload. And we also released European Outlook as well. Please check out all of today's videos if you would like to do that. Right, so let's begin then. I'll turn the webcam on. So we're going to start off by having a look at the central temperature for June. So the CET is currently standing at 6.1, which is an anomaly of 2.7 degrees above average. That is provisional up to yesterday, the 9th of June. So that's come down quite a bit. It's over 17 degrees the first 2 or 3 days of the month. That has lowered quite a bit, but it's still significantly above average. It's still nearly 3 degrees above average, and will probably rise further in the coming days again, because we are going to be in for a very, very warm weekend. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Having to use the weather outlook today. They're not updating properly at Weather Central for some reason. I don't know why, but never mind. We've got to work around here at the weather outlook. So it's the same idea, just with a slightly different view. The black line just there is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. And we're starting off, of course, significantly above average at the moment. Properly warm temperatures, upper air temperatures are like at 10 degrees at 850 HPA. We will find the upper air temperatures staying warm over the next week. So dates on the bottom. So up to the middle part of June and just beyond, actually, it stays pretty warm. But we do see a drop in the upper air temperatures as we get through into the second half of June, so there is clearly a drop in the temperature taking place there, and then generally staying quite close to the 30-year temperature average, staying quite close to the long-term average as we go on into the final week, just about get to the final week of June, up to the 25th or so of June. It's a bit of scattering. There are some hotter outlier members, particularly that one, which goes very, very hot, up to 20 degrees at 850 HPA. They are outliers, though, these ones up here. Most of the ensemble members are keeping things close to the long-term 30-year average. Also becoming a bit more unsettled as well. Loads of dry weather to come over the next few days up to the middle part of June. It looks pretty dry. As we go into the second half of June, it is gradually turning rather more unsettled, and we see more precipitation spikes appearing. It's a clear trend, I think, that the next week or so is going to be very warm. Then there's a cool down taking place, and it turns a bit more unsettled too. Right, temperature anomalies from mid-temp to the 18th of June are going to be warmer than average, particularly so for England and Wales. Probably closer to average, though, for Scotland. Precipitation anomalies from the 10th to the 18th of June. It could be drier than average, especially so for England and Wales, although the far northwest of Scotland will be a little bit on the wetter than average side. That's an indication, I think, that right at the very end of the anomaly period, it is probably starting to turn a little bit more unsettled. But still, for the week, it's a warmer and drier than average week to come. Latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net shows that we're drawing in a very mild or quite warm southwesterly wind today. So the air is originating from the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, from the Azores, and probably even further south than that, and pushing it across northern and western Europe. So it's pretty cloudy. There's some showery bits and pieces of rain, but also some bright and sunny spells out there. And the main thing, though, is the warm and the humid feel. Right, so this is how the UK Met is looking for Sunday. On Sunday, we're going to be under an area of high pressure, big ridge of high pressure sitting over the UK and Ireland will bring loads of dry, fine, warm weather, plenty of sunshine to come on Sunday. A little bit of patchy rain in the far northwest of Scotland, but most areas under this area of high pressure are looking dry, warm and sunny on Sunday. That could be quite hot in the southeast. Into Monday, again, the ridge of high pressure extending through the south, a little bit more unsettled with low pressure coming into the north, though. Probably cooling down a little bit through the early part of next week, but still very warm down across the south. So that ridge still holding on, weakening a little bit further, but still holding on there on Tuesday, and then we get through to Wednesday, and this is as far as we go to with the UK Met today, and then we start to see the low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, beginning to break down that ridge and starting to turn more unsettled. Let's pick this up with the GFS midnight run then. Say that's as far as we get to with UK. Make sure I put a webcam on perhaps for this part of the video. There we go. Right, so let's go through the midnight GFS run. So again, under this ridge of high pressure as we go into Sunday, going to be mainly dry, fine and very warm, if not quite hot himself on Sunday. Into early next week, we'll gradually weaken the ridge. It's going to be a slow process to get this ridge to weaken. Low pressure is out in the Atlantic. That low pressure will start to move into the country as we go through into the middle of next week, beginning to turn more unsettled with some showers and some longer spells of rain. By Thursday, we're under quite a big area of low pressure then. So, you know, it's all change. A big change takes place in the middle of next week from that area of high pressure to low pressure. That low pressure brings showers, if not longer spells of rain, and quite cool temperatures as well. Heading up towards the end of next week and into weekend of the 19th, 20th of June, the midnight GFS run keeps things cooler and rather showery as well. That's sort of as we get to day 10, which is Sunday the 20th of June. So we've got low pressure over France and high pressure way to the northwest, and winds will be coming in from more of the north or northeasterly direction. Upper air temperatures look quite cool. May head on into like the extended range, and yeah, we've got high pressure trying to come back in, but way to our northwest, which will pull in the winds like a north or northeast direction. So it will be quite cool with that. And then right very end, we begin to threaten to push up some heat again from the south with this area of low pressure to the west of Biscay. It doesn't really come to a great deal, and eventually we finish up with quite an unsettled pattern. Low pressure starting to roll in from the Atlantic and hints of northern blocking returning. So definitely a more changeable, let's say, flavour to weather in the second half of June, and somewhat cooler as well. This is how the 6Z is looking, the very latest GFS run. Again, high pressure is sitting across West Europe, bringing lots of dry and fine weather through the early part of next week. Again, this ridge just about holds on, but it is weakening. Low pressure is developing in the Atlantic, and by the middle of next week, this low pressure is coming in off the Atlantic, bringing outbreaks of rain, maybe showers in between. And then in the second half next week, we're into properly cooler and unsettled weather with low pressure again in from the Atlantic Ocean, bringing showers, if not some longer spells of rain. Up to day 10, looking more unsettled, actually, with GFS 6Z. This low just to the west of France is probably going to bring heavy rain if it comes off into the south-southeast. Notice heights beginning to rise a little bit around Greenland again. Could we see another re-emergence of northern blocking yet again? Maybe. Into the more extended range of its GFS 6Z run, it's very unsettled too, with low pressure bringing further showers, if not some longer spells of rain, and winds are in from a northwest direction, so will be quite cool as well. Right way up to the end of the GFS 6Z, generally looking quite unsettled. So a significant, you know, very significant pattern change taking place next week with the GFS output from this high pressure, warm, dry weather that we have had, something rather cooler and more unsettled. So the GM looks, so again, ridge of high pressure is over the country on Sunday and will bring lots of dry, fine and very warm weather. That carries on into the early part of next week, and then through the middle to the second half next week, there is a weakening of high pressure. Low pressure comes in off the Atlantic. It may take a little bit longer with the GM, bring that low pressure in, but it is coming in. So second half next week, definitely more unsettled with showers, if not longer spells of rain. And this cooler, more unsettled weather carries on then up to day 10, further low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. So again, the GM is turning things unsettled next week. And then we've got the ECMWF, again with that ridge of high pressure on Sunday, will give us a barbecue weekend into the early part of next week. The ridge is just about holding on across western parts of Europe, but is weakening. By Wednesday, low pressure is heading in off the Atlantic, bringing showers, if not longer spells of rain. And then we get through into the second half of next week. A little bit less unsettled, I think, with the ECM compared to the other mods for the second half of next week. You do finish up by day 10 under low pressure. It's just a little bit more ridging around. So I think the ECM, out of the big three, out of the GFS, the GM, and the ECM, I think the ECM is probably a little bit more settled. But even that one is beginning to turn things cooler and unsettled through the second half of next week, definitely as the high pressure begins to decline to the south. Right, so this is a precipitation type forecast based on that ECM run. So we're going to have lots of showery rain in the northwest over the next few hours, but most of the areas will be dry, if rather cloudy. And over the weekend, of course, high pressure builds up from the south, takes over, brings loads of dry, fine, and increasingly warm, if not for the south, quite hot weather with it. Then we move on into next week. It'll be showery in the north, mainly dry elsewhere. And then through the course next week, gradually start to a little bit more unsettled. Shower, particularly so in the north. There is some rainbow threatening to the southeast there in around a week or so's time. But as I say, the ECM not quite as unsettled, I don't think, for the second half next week as the other model output is. However, by day 10, even the ECM looks like it's starting to bring wet weather in from the north and west. So probably just delaying the onset of unsettled weather a little bit compared to the other models. Right, let's turn webcam off and we'll have a look at options on the table within the ECM ensemble. So these are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Will get us to the 20th of June. 32 members of the ECM ensembles have low pressure to our west-northwest and will bring in this westerly wind. High pressure will be away to our east and also to our southwest as well. So with that, we're again gradually breaking down ridge, being to turn more unsettled. 13 members of the ECM ensembles, including operational run, that's what I've just been looking at, have low pressure, you know, having broken through by day 10. That's unsettled, of course. And then 6 have low pressure to the south, high pressure over Scandinavia. That's going to be quite unsettled. Could be a little bit volatile, though. Might be bringing up wind from a southerly direction. So that could be a little bit thundering. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options, or this is the option map we've got, given it's only one of them. This is for the 25th of June. 51 out of 51 members of the ECL ensembles hinting at building back high pressure. So it might only be a temporary interruption to the fine weather. It might just be a temporary breakdown, and then we're back to higher pressure again as we go into the last week of June. Maybe we will be. Let's have a look at CFS, see what that's got to say. So these are 500 millibar high tolerance. Let's break it down into week periods. The first week period take us from the 10th to the 16th of June. The coming week will have high pressure pretty much over the country. We'll bring a lot of dry and fine weather. Low pressure will be away to the northwest along with the jet stream as well. So mainly dry and pretty warm in the week ahead. Gradually late next week we'll start to break down that ridge, but most of the coming week, you know, as an anomaly is fine. Week 2 is 17th to 23rd of June with low pressure then across western parts of Europe. That looks a lot more unsettled, I have to say. High pressure pulling out into middle of North Atlantic. So yes, that obviously is more unsettled and will be cooler as well as the jet stream is digging southwards. It doesn't look like that unsettled weather's lasting all that long, though. This is week 3, 24th to 30th of June. High pressure back over Scandinavia and beginning to get wind back into the east again. So that's starting to turn drier and probably warmer as well, with winds going into the east for the last week of June. And then week 4 is the 1st through to the 7th of July. And we're look at this, we're under high pressure again. Mainly dry, fine, and you would have thought quite warm conditions coming back. So it looks like the evidence looks like it might be there, but this is just a temporary interruption to the fine weather, just a brief breakdown to something cooler and more unsettled, and then the high pressure and the warm, dry weather comes back late June and into July, possibly. We'll see. Right, so if you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Tell friends, family, everybody else to subscribe. Thank you so much for doing this for GavsWeatherVids, and drop a comment and let us know what you think. Right, we're done with today's videos then. So, yeah, tomorrow we're going to have GMA Friday. We'll have a 10 to 14 day for you as well. We'll probably get in the EC 42-day forecast. You're not to worry about it, it'll be Saturday. And of course 7 a.m. forecast as well. So keep checking back to the channel for all of the updates. But for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.